this looks a little bit pinched. Looks like someone took the edges of it and went like this one. You know, you want your ellipses to feel like that, to have that kind of rounded quality. Now, so people were doing this or they were doing this. Now, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that is their square was usually doing something like this. And so what both of these people were doing wrong, and in a way this kind of made me happy. This is why I want you to ignore the points. The points are mechanical, you need them. But when you go to draw the ellipse, exactly, ignore the points and pay attention to the axes and symmetry. Because if you get the symmetry correct, and it's a tiny bit off on the points, it'll still look right. If you get the points exactly right, but the symmetry is a little bit off, it'll look wrong. Okay? So, what I expect, and I expect when I'm doing this, I'll be pointing out to you guys a lot of little ones where, okay, yeah, see, these are a little pinched, this is a little floating at a weird angle. I expect that. All right? There will be a lot of slightly tilting ellipses. I already see a couple. So that's what I want to make sure you guys fix. Here's the point I was going to. Because you're going to be doing your rendering this weekend, the first 40 minutes or so we'll be talking about these rendering, or about these mechanicals. I'm going to go one by one and say everything that's on my mind. You should not leave class today without if you did something wrong, you should not leave class today without knowing exactly what you did and exactly how to fix it. Okay? So at the break or something, be sure to ask Brandon or ask a teammate. Don't go forward, with an incorrect mechanical. All right? Now, a couple of the things. So that was the main discussion we had. Okay? Actually, I'm going to make a page out of this. You guys get the benefit of being in second class. You should see the third class. Their lecture's really good. Mm-hmm. That was supposed to be funny. Okay. I'm not going to go there. Okay. I almost went off on a tangent and I saved myself. I had the worst pun ever yesterday. I was talking about these things. I said, well, this is really tangent to the problem. Oh, wait, no, actually, it's entirely not tangent to the problem. It is a tangent. It was so bad. All right, so here are a couple of the other things that I noticed people doing. They were drawing their shadows of their cylinders. And they were drawing their shadows. One person did it like this, which is correct so far, but then they went like this. You know what I mean? And connected to the other one. And so this was much too sharp. This should be feeding in. But then the other person did this. And it's funny because they hung up their work right next to each other, and so it was a perfect comparison of the two extremes of how not to do it. The other person kind of had this. They had their ellipse out here that was the main shadow part, and then it kind of went... and so you need to make sure that there is a straight edge, but then that it comes out and then it sort of should catch the ellipse. And it should be tangent. You'll see it when I'll demonstrate it later. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about the mechanicals first today.